Hello, good evening. Welcome to the process. Today we have a special guest, Mr. William Logan from Logan Consultants. Welcome. He's an educator, he's a consultant, he has been in the field for over 30 years, and he's here to share some knowledge on his new project and just to share some nuggets on how to navigate in building a school and educating in general. So, welcome, Mr. Logan. How are you today?
I am well. Thank you for having me on the process.
You are welcome. You are welcome. So, just tell us a little, give us a little overview about your career, how long you've been in the field, what you've done, what your accomplishments are.
Sure, absolutely. Been in the field for a little over 30 years. Started my career when I was 19 years old, working at Temple University Hospital as a CSR technician in the supply room. Moved over to store processing about when I was 20 years old. And after working a year and a half as a technician, got an opportunity to move into a management role. Been a manager at Temple for 11 years, 16 total. And then after that, had some opportunities to do private contracting and work as other manager positions and director level, basically throughout the Northeast quarter. Started Logan Consultants in 2005, which is our company for education for store processing, and became an ISHM approved instructor in 2005 as well. Started doing the teaching around 1999 with Carlene Evans, who was a well-known instructor in the Philadelphia area. That's it in a nutshell.
So that's a very, very interesting career. I was doing a couple background maintenance there. That's a very interesting career and a lot of accomplishments along the way. Um,
Yes, absolutely. Thank you.
so thank you for gracing us with your presence on this show. This month we're interviewing educators, persons who in the field who have given a lot to those coming up who've trained and shared their knowledge to increase particularly the efficacy of the field. You know, those people coming up learning the right things the right way. I have a
Absolutely.
question for you. What is your experience as an SPD educator?
As an SPD educator,
Hmm.
I kind of got thrown into the role when we were early on in the early 90s. We didn't have educators. The manager was the person that had to make sure the in services were done and had to have the staff sign off on, different, whether it was new equipment coming into play, new trades, new processes. The manager had to facilitate that. So that was always a core responsibility. Moving into the actual teaching part, like I said, working with Carlene Evans, I got to assist a ISHM instructor, and she kind of schooled me to, how to work with the students and the curriculum, the ISHM curriculum, and I kind of made it a business in 2005 after being approved by ISHM by the PDRC board as a approved instructor.
Hmm. So, how would someone get approved as an instructor? Is that still available?
Well, no, it's not available anymore. ISHM stopped the approval process. They still have good education tools that, gives us the ability to, for training of the students and whatnot, but they don't do the approval anymore. So,
Mm.
staying in tune with different seminars, training opportunities, just staying aware of industry changes.
And being there are changes in the industry, and I know there's a new demographic coming into industrial processing. What have you seen in terms of the demographic that you teach on a regular basis?
Say that one more time. You were kind
What,
of
oh, sorry. What demographic do
sorry about
you
that.
do you see coming into the field as students?
Wow. It's very diverse. It's actually like the international part of ISHM. We have a diverse group. We've been blessed to have Black, white, Latino, Asian people come through, from the general public. We've also had the opportunity to train at different hospitals. Like we've done training at Mainline Health System for all 4 of their hospitals. Our company was assigned to that. We've also done 2 semesters, created a syllabus and taught at Gloucester County College. So we've been able to see a diverse variety of students come through Logan Consultants.
Hmm. Hmm. And I'll just acknowledge that right now. I'm not biased, but I was one of your students way back when. So thank you for the opportunity. Oh, you can't hear me?
Yeah. Can you repeat that?
Oh, sorry. I was one of your students. I just wanted to put that out there. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Say it one more time.
I was saying I was one of your students. Yep. So I just wanted to put that out
Yes.
there. Yeah. So thank you for the opportunity. I appreciate the learning those skills from your institution. Thank you. I also have another question. How do you feel?
I'm proud
You're
of
welcome.
you. I'm proud of you and your accomplishments.
Um,
As one of our students, I'm proud of you and your accomplishments.
Thank you, thank you. I'm still working at it. I'm still working at it. I'm not where I want to be yet. So,
We all are.
first, yeah. How do you feel about the state of SPD education across the country in general?
You know, I really love the approval process that Isham had. I think it kind of helped mold and give guidance to the instructors, and not that you have people who are educators by nature, educators by training. You have managers that get into the training of the students, but I would like to see it regulated just a little bit more, some sort of stamp to say, that this is our guy, he's presenting this class. This is the curriculum that they're following, and these are the parameters that they're working within. And that way, it's more of a universal stamp that
Right.
when you're taking the course, people are getting the same training, not to where people are just kind of making up, not so much making up things as they go, because you kind of follow the course workbook, but there was nuggets that it was giving for us as approved instructors to help us stay on par with what Isham was expecting us to do, and which was best for the student. Everything down to what we charged for the class, all that had to be evaluated. Now it's kind of like very wide open. And I don't want to throw any negative out there at all, because I think that, it's an opportunity to kind of bring people together, other instructors, and build with each other so that, we can be more on the same page as it relates to, how we're relating to the students.
Yeah, I agree. And I think all in all, it ends with the patient. We want to give the best education so that those future technicians could provide the best service for the patients in the facilities. So we definitely want a unified educational front that basically, that basically conveys the same level of competency to every student coming in the field. So,
Exactly. I mean, at the end of the day, that is what we're here to do. And, you have to have that, in the forefront of your mind. And sometimes it gets lost when you're in business. There's so many variables when you're putting together a class, having the right venue, making sure that, you're bringing in the right, people for the training that will serve the industry well. And, not turning a deaf ear. One of the things that, you know, I you cannot purchase your way into the industry. When you sign up for a class with us, now is your opportunity to show us why you want to work in our industry. This is not just I pay, I go. This is
right.
let's go through this process and see exactly if this actually fits for you. And we want to be able to be advocates to say, if we see some signs that this isn't going to work for us, or work for you, then we kind of want to outline those things and maybe put together a plan of action that to help. But people have to make that conscious decision. Is this something I really want to do with some of the challenges that we have being still processing technicians. It's
Yeah,
not always a 9 to 5 job.
yeah, it's not always. It's a difficult field, and the competency level keeps rising because of the new equipment, new technology coming out, the new processes we're putting in place. It definitely, um, in fact, as you already know, we have issues with pay in in the industry. So I believe the competency level and the pay definitely needs to um, meet that, be at that same level. But definitely in terms of training, I feel you definitely hit on the head when you said we need universal training for and recognition for our educators across the field. So I definitely believe that training for the educators themselves to know what to teach and how to teach it definitely would increase the competency level of future techs. So definitely, hopefully you spearhead that in the future. That's a great idea.
Absolutely, absolutely. One of the things that we like doing, is partnering with, when Isham stopped doing the approval, Logan Consultants continued that pattern of approval, bringing in instructors and doing the trainer. So that way, they would have some sort of footing and backing to make it comfortable. Because at the end of the day, getting in front of people and teaching, it's a skill, and
Sure.
I'm still learning, and I've been doing it for a while. And when you have someone new coming in, you want to support that. When if they have that energy, you want to be able to support that for their success.
Definitely. So, in terms of, I know you've been talking about Isham a lot. So, what's your relationship with teaching the Isham level course and the CBSPD level course? Are you teaching one or the other, or is your course crossing both certifications?
No, we're strictly Isham. Nothing against CBSPD. I've had the pleasure of, when I was a director at St. Barnabas Healthcare System, had opportunity to manage people. Most of the department was CBSPD, in Jersey. So big fan of Nancy Chauvin. Had an opportunity to work with her and her perioperative group at St. Barnabas. But I'm Isham all day long. That I was approved by Isham as an instructor. I was embraced by that organization. They embraced me back. So I'm very happy to represent Isham, completely.
Hmm, that's good. So, given the opportunity, would you teach a CBSPD course or gear
Absolutely,
your training towards CBSPD if that ever came out to be that way?
absolutely, absolutely. It's all it's the same industry.
Mm-hmm.
I believe Nancy Chauvin is a member of Isham, and she's also the owner of CBSPD. So
Uh,
I would not stray away from any type of encounter with doing any training with them. With their curriculum. I think their curriculum is great. I've had an opportunity to review some of the information that they put out for their certification classes, and it's great work.
it is, and I have taken got one of the certifications from CBSPD, and I must say their tests are challenging. So it's definitely a opportunity to learn something. I mean, apart from Isham does a good job, but I believe CBSPD has a niche that definitely needs to be filled. Um, and so in terms of Isham and CBSPD, there's a question of internships. How does internships vary between regions, or do you have any? I really don't know the dynamics of a CBSPD, CRCSD. Is there an internship involved? And what's the difference between those internships or dynamic between those?
I'm going to have to skip that question in regards to CBSPD. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I just don't know. I can tell you that as far as internships are concerned, um, they're very rare at times,
Yeah.
and it's very sacred. The internship is where you actually get to see, what the process really is. Once you attain that the science of what we do, now you can actually start to do the practicum. What we do from Logan Consultants, we try to get hospitals either through relationships, affiliation agreements, contracts, and just use our reputation and our ability to relate with the different managers and administration to get us, our students in. So it's a we jump through many hoops in order to provide those internships. But we've gotten pretty good at it. We had some where sometimes it was lean, and then we had some where the floodgates were open and we're able to get students through. But it's always a challenge. It's always evolving. Managers change. So when managers change, they have to get new to what the old processes were. So as things evolve, you have to evolve with it and maintain those relationships.
Thank you. I see. Sorry, I see one of the comments from one of your. I guess that's one of your past students, Robert Williams. So he has some nice things to say about you.
Every time anything nice about me, I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
So we're definitely appreciative of all the comments. Thank you, guys. We're going to go into a short commercial break, and we will be right back.
Tomorrow, no, they promise to nobody. So today, I go love you like say tomorrow, no day. Cause tomorrow, no, they promise to nobody. So today, I go love you like say tomorrow, no day. Like say tomorrow, no day. Like say tomorrow, no day. Like say tomorrow, no day.
So, welcome back, guys. We still have we have Mr. William Logan from Logan Consultants here. He is a master, as Robert Williams says, at his craft. He's been an educator in the field for a very long time, and he's been in the field over 30 years with numerous positions in leadership. So he has a lot of value and a lot of nuggets to give out to anyone who wants. And he also teaches a very, very robust course of sterile processing from Isham. So he has some projects working on. I won't get into that. I'll let him get into that later. But we're going to ask him a few more questions to get to know him, his course, and what his plans are for the future. So in terms of someone watching this video and saying, well, I've been looking around, I've seen all these other places, but I'm not sure how successful they are, and I'm not sure what exactly, which course exactly to take. In terms of your success rate, what's the success rate of your course?
Ooh, that's great. You really have to put together a holistic program, and I found that as good as an instructor as someone can be, you have to partner with other individuals to help assist in the student having a more holistic process, so to speak. So, we have HR people come in and speak. Sometimes we have other members affiliated with the industry. You were making reference to Brandon Rue, who used to work for TRE, which was a instrument processing company. They used to come and repair your instrumentation. So we would bring in different folks to give it a holistic process so people can keep their interest, so to speak. Our success rate is actually pretty good. I think it's more or less because of the longevity. But generally, with each class, it might maybe like a third or a little less than a third may drop. But I always tell people it's a 3-step process. The class is easy. The class that's get into it, get to know it, start loving what you do. The second thing is the internship. Internships, if you're really excited, from learning, then when you actually start doing the practice, it's somewhat rewarding to you to actually get in the field. And then lastly, our students, we have like a 98% rate that passes the certification exam the first time. And that's one of the things I'm really proud of, that the students really, because we don't cut any corners. There is no cutting the corners in the class with us. We methodically go through everything and try and answer all the questions that are asked so that people get an understanding of, what we're teaching.
And then I think that's important. Thank you. Beg your pardon? Beg your pardon?
No, I was saying, I hope that answered the question.
Yeah, that definitely answers the question. And the fact that you break things down for those persons coming in, make it simpler so that they understand what's going on and what's coming is very important. Because
Absolutely.
a lot of testimonials I get from new students is that they're not explained to adequately what sterile processing is and what they're actually getting into. So even after taking a course, getting high marks, when they actually get into an internship, their perception of what was of in reality is two different things, and then they end up dropping out anyway and going back to another profession or just quitting sterile processing altogether. So I think that's a good avenue. Beg your pardon?
We have to have good trainers.
Yes.
When these students come to these departments, they have to also partner with the school that sent them. A lot of times we go in and we, bond with the staff where our students are being trained at, because we want to check up on them and make sure that they're being trained properly, two, that they're comfortable in the setting that they're in. So, like, for example, we had Lila Price had one of our hospitals that we had under contract, and she would go in routinely just to verify that the students were comfortable, that the staff was, training them, and the staff appreciated that. It wasn't just like someone dumped somebody on them and just, was hands off and wasn't involved. Although the hospital has the responsibility of doing the training, we still have a responsibility as the trainers for the school to come in and check up on them. And I think what the industry may have lost, and why you're seeing that negative variant, is because the people aren't really training. And I think that falls on the managers. And I'm not coming at anybody. I don't want anybody to say, oh, Will, said something, in reference to managers. But I'm a firm believer in you having a strong internship program. It just helps the department run better. It's already scientifically proven that, when you are training people on a continuous basis, it makes you better, because you're always in that mode of showing someone what you do. And we got to get back to that. And I think now managers are so quick to say, we don't have time. It's not something we can do right now. And I think, in my opinion, in my 30 years experience, and mostly in management, as a manager and director, and I'll just use my 16 years at Temple and 11 as a manager, we never had to bring in a outside agency to cover for staffing. We never had to do that. And that's because we had a very strong internship program. So, I've had interns that once we had them up in training, the department could fall short of staff. And those interns come in, very valuable when, they're trained properly, and they can assist in keeping the process going. So, I think managers need to really, review the value of having a strong internship program, and just look at your budget and see how much you're spending on, contractors coming in and blowing your budget out. You could save money by bringing in an intern for free, and they're engaged. They want to be there. They want to learn. Sometimes a contractor, it's not always what you pay for. It's a flip of a coin.
And that's very true.
Managers need to take hold of that process and start getting internships. It should be, high on the priority list to and then when you're hiring and your staff is evolving, you have people that are moving out. Those interns, you have a backlog of resumes of guys that have went through your process that you can hire now and bring them back into your facility.
Yes, and when I went through the course, internships were at a premium. There was a 6 month to a year wait for internships. Anyone, and I'm just throwing you a bone here, anyone who has a solution for that would definitely be an asset within the industry to actually provide new technicians with internships. So I definitely believe moving forward that internships, managers provide internships, and that's something at most some of the facilities I've been at that interns definitely help, especially with the workload. They definitely help boost some of the morale of some of the staff within the department, having to teach, having to train, and that kind of helps the nurturing aspect of those technicians who have been there years and have kind of lost that motivation to actually go through a day. Actually having to teach someone what actually gives them that encouragement to actually come to work. Hey, I'm a teacher, I'm a preceptor. I can do this. I have people under my watch that, I'm not technically a supervisor, or I'm not a lead tech, but actually I'm training. And that could definitely help you build your resume and move up a level if you've been in the field for a while and having issues or having a hard time moving up. Putting that in your resume that you actually train, that's definitely a good thing. So moving on to the next
I
question,
agree.
so so you've been teaching for a while and you've been moving about from a young age, and you've been doing it by yourself most of the time. What are the pros and cons of being an independent instructor or doing it on your own? What are the pros and cons? How do you navigate that
Pros and cons. Pros and cons for what?
of being an independent educator?
Oh, wow. Man. I mean, it's all on you. You know what I'm saying? I wear the face of success and failure. So, as an independent instructor, you really have to, and I'll be honest with you. When I initially started out independent as an instructor, as I grew, particularly when I started my office in Penn Treaty, where you took the course at, we must have retained about 12 different instructors. And the reason was, I wanted, the students to get as much information about our process, and was always good networking with all those guys to bring a better class to the student. So the pros and cons, I would say partnership is definitely something you have to do. You have to partner with people to help you with your process going forward to be successful. Getting internships, you got to go out there and secure those internships with the hospitals. And as a person looking for, whether or not they're going to sign up for a school, just don't look for a person because they got a scrub on or because a person's in a manager position. You say, okay, this is my guy. You actually, just like any type of smart consumer, you have to be smart and ask the right questions. Can you, after I've invested my money into your company, will you, and mind you, I have to successfully pass this course. Do you provide internship opportunities for me? Can you provide that for me? And that's a yes or no question. And the consumer has to be smart because, unfortunately, I've had to feel, people who, have taken courses and they didn't get the internship. And so, I'm a holistic person. We just don't place our students. We also place other school students as well, because I want to see everyone win, and I want to see everyone be successful. But as a consumer, you need to ask that at first, because you don't want to create enemies. Because if you continue with a process where it's not complete, you'll be that guy that, oh, they just teach a wonderful course, but they don't provide, what I really need, which is that key internship. So the consumer has to be smart about that piece.
Definitely, that's a very good point. Internships is one of the main things after taking a course. And unfortunately, I've spoken to some students, some past students, who said at the beginning of the course, the instructor never mentioned an internship. So when they finished the course, they thought, hey, I'm good, I'm fine, I passed. When do I start the job? And then they heard about a 400-hour internship. So
Right.
What what you spoke on was very needed. Instructors definitely need to be open and transparent as to what the field entails, what the cost should be, what they're providing, and what they're not providing. Actually,
Absolutely.
yeah, definitely. So, how do you maintain relationships? You spoke about relationships. How do you maintain relationships with all the necessary partners? And you spoke about partnering. How do you maintain those relationships, especially over so many years?
You know what? It's been the success of you guys. I mean, I have to really take my hat off to the students that were drawn to my classes. Um, it, I've actually built a culture where I've partnered a lot of the instructors, people that are part of our organization are former students. So again, just as you evolve, people become successful in their careers, and some people want to give back, and some people want to, be a part of seeing that vision come full forward. So I would say that I'm always looking to bond with those that have their successes, and I have. Some of my students are very dynamic and have done very well for themselves, like yourself. And it's my pleasure to build those relationships and maintain those relationships. And we work on projects together. We look at bettering the process. Some of them come in and they speak to the students. They do training, Sarah Williams, Stephanie Child, Lila Price, Sharon Manker. These people are behind the scenes a lot of times, not seen as far as what they bring to the table and push this process forward. And if I forgot anybody, gotta throw my word out there.
Yeah, and shout out to
17 years experience working as a certified technician.
Lila Price, a friend to the show. She's been very supportive.
She's awesome.
She actually came to our walk a couple weekends ago. We do have a walk, and we're going to resume on Saturday at the Art Museum in Philadelphia. And it's through Google Meet, so you do not have to be in Philadelphia to walk with us. You could be on your treadmill, you could be at your local park, you could be on your local block, and join us through Google Meets. We'll talk about your experiences through the week. We'll talk about the good, the bad, the ugly, and we'll just talk about getting fit, staying in shape, and it'll be a good thing. We're gonna lose that COVID weight once and for all, and we're gonna get our beach bodies back for 2021. So join us Saturday mornings at 8 a.m. So I'll share the link through the process group, and we'll get in shape. So I'll see you guys there. So that's a shameless plug. So Lila Price is watching the show. Thank you, Lila. Appreciate it. So how do students, back to the students, how do students know when to, how to consider a program? What do they look for in terms of the program and internships? What would you suggest they look for? How do they come off and look for a program or internship? How do they navigate that? How do they start?
I don't know if Isham does it. Oh, okay. I don't know if Isham does anymore, but we used to get referred by Isham. I don't know if
Yeah,
they refer
I
programs anymore.
actually got not to cut you off. I actually got referred by Isham because what I did was that was a few years ago. I don't want to date myself. I actually called Isham. I said I'm trying to start a course. I'm online. I'm not sure who's who. So can you direct me to instructor or course in my area? And I think there was a section on their website, I believe. I'm not too sure.
Yeah,
So yeah,
yeah, it was. It was. But
yeah.
I mean, that's one way. The other thing is, I mean, you can Google search. You can put in the
Mhm,
search engine store processing trainings, certification for store processing, and in your demographic, the schools will come up, and
mhm,
give them a call. Definitely give them a call, but you want to make sure that you ask the right questions. How much is your course? What like you asked, what is your success rate? And
mhm.
do you offer internship? I mean, that is the key. Do you offer internship? Because I hear a lot. I've never heard anyone saying they had a bad course. Really, maybe every now and then, but that's very rare. People enjoy the courses, but they, like you said, when they get to the end of the process and there's no internship opportunity, that's when people become a little disgruntled. So we've always worked hard because we've had our challenges too. I'm not going to sit here and say that we're perfect. Logan Consultants has have had to grow into that piece where when we first started, it was common knowledge when for people to finish the course and then they would go and solicit hospitals, and hospitals would let them in. So that's the cloth I'm cut from. So when I started, more people started coming into the industry. I had to evolve because hospitals weren't taking students off the street anymore. They wanted more of a formal process. So we had to create that formal process, or in my opinion, my name would have been mud a long time ago because I would have been leaving people stranded without an opportunity. So it's always been an evolving process, and you just have to continue to work at it.
Definitely. And I think you guys have been doing good. Being that things have changed over the years. You guys have at Logan Consultants have changed, and and the partnerships with former students, I believe, has helped you guys a lot with where you are now. So that being said, let's go into one more break, and we'll be right back. 30-second break, then
All
we'll
right.
go into a short commercial.
Tomorrow, no, they promise to nobody. So today, I go love you like say tomorrow, no day. Cause tomorrow, no, they promise to nobody. So today, I go love you like say tomorrow, no day. Like say tomorrow, no day. Like say tomorrow, no day. Like say tomorrow, no day.
You know what? I like that so much. I like that song so much. I'm gonna play it again.
Tomorrow, no, they promise to nobody. So today, I go love you like say tomorrow no day, cause tomorrow no day promise to nobody. So today, I go love you like say tomorrow no day. Like say tomorrow no day. Like say tomorrow no day. Like say tomorrow no day.
All right, so this is the last segment of the show. We're going to ask Mr. William Logan from Logan Consultants. Why I always messing that up? William Logan from
William
Logan
Logan,
Consultants.
Logan. William Logan.
So I'm going to ask you a couple more poignant questions, and then I want you to tell me about your the plans you have moving forward for your new class. So, a question: how does permanent staffing impact your internship program, especially in a union environment? How does permanent staffing impact your internships?
How does permanent staffing
Hmm.
impact internship? I want to make sure I'm understanding the question before I answer it. Meaning,
Union environments, or
oh, I got you.
yeah.
Union, um, union environments are hard to get around. If you're not a member, um, if you're not a member of the union, it's hard to get internships in those hospitals that are represented by, those unions. So, you have to kind of have a student that's already either in the union. I've even had students that were worked at a hospital but weren't in the union and still weren't allowed to do their internship. So,
Oh wow.
yeah, it's the unions kind of put up a defense, as far as who can actually get in to be trained, and in the hospitals where their constituents were. So, union hospitals are very, if they're union people, it
Hmm.
works. If they're not, then
Right. So you may have to sign an affiliate program with the union facility.
say that one more time.
You may have to sign an affiliate program with a union facility. Is
Yeah,
that
you
what?
can. You can. Yeah, absolutely, definitely. You can sign an affiliate program with them
Hmm.
if they accept it. But again, they're the
Indeed.
driver of that whole process for those specific facilities.
Hmm.
So basically,
That's interesting.
it is
That's
what it
very,
is.
yeah.
It is what it is.
That's very interesting. And
You
guys,
just have to go to the next hospital. Sometimes looking for a hospital that needs help. Sometimes as a consulting educator, you can throw them a bone by doing some things to help them with their process, and in turn, allow your students to come in because you'll be there overseeing that process, and you can lend them some value information to help with some process variances that they may be facing. So
yeah,
you got to market yourself at all costs to help work that thing out for the student to get in and do that internship. Whether it's an affiliate agreement, whether it's
hmm,
a contract, and then you have to sometimes do the due diligence that the hospitals are looking for. They're going to want a background check. Right now, they're going to
yeah,
want that COVID test done.
hmm,
And they're also going to want, some of them are going to want liability insurance. Some of them, you can go through their volunteer services and the hospital, takes on ownership of everything, but it depends on the dynamic of the facility that you're dealing with. You just have to really, as a business person, throw yourself out there, knock on those doors, talk to the right people, start with the volunteer service department, check with the HR departments, and of course keep the manager in the loop. But sometimes these managers are overwhelmed and they can't really hear you. So sometimes it takes to go a level higher just to get their attention and tell them you're here to help and provide a service that can take some of the pressure off.
definitely. And I think that's a good nugget for those persons working at a union facility, expecting to do the internships at that facility after finishing a course. So that's definitely good information for those persons. You may not be able to proceed to an internship even if you work at that facility, being part of the union. So that's good information. I did not know that actually. So thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, trust me.
Um,
I've had some people that worked at my schools and they feel like I'm not a part of the union, so I can't do my internship. Wow,
mm,
that's
wow,
that's a hard blow.
yeah. So in terms of your program now, what's coming? What you have what you have cooking for the future for your program? I've heard some big things. I've seen some things on Facebook, but I don't. I think you could better explain exactly what's going on. I think it's really big for the industry, and for the
Okay.
future of cell processing in general. So can you elaborate on exactly what's going on?
Okay. Well, one is two things. One,
Hmm.
we did have an app and an
Hmm.
online um, process that where people were taking the course all over the country from our online platform. Um, and the second thing is that we are in the process of finishing up our mock sterile processing.
Hold up. Let me give you the floor on this one. I want you to speak to the audience and anybody watching the show. Let them know exactly what's going on and just pitch yourself, man. Just
Okay.
tell them that this is the best school on the East Coast or in the country. So I'll let you go.
You got it. Now I respect some of the other guys that's out there teaching the course, but hands down, Logan Consultants is one of the strongest still processing training courses out there, and we will have within the next 30 days a mock central that has uh, we have the sterilizer, the washer, the ultrasonic, the biological monitoring system, instrumentation, uh, you know, everything that would be inside of a sterile processing department. We have a mock central set up that'll be in the Philadelphia area, and it'll be ready within the next 30 days. So we are looking forward to partnering, not just with my company, but we also are looking for, if you are an instructor out there and you don't have a solid internship availability for your students, you can call us. We can assist you with that now, as far as assisting with the 400 hours of training needed to complete the process for your students. So that's what's big for us right now. We're very excited about that, and we're looking forward to, having a little gala to celebrate the new Mock Central, showing the world what we built, and also allowing the students in our region to take advantage of that. So please stay tuned. We're looking forward to showing it to the world, and join us in making our region and our city great by instructors coming together and utilizing this facility for their benefit and their success. So that's it. That's what.
All right.
Amen.
That's some big news right there. That's
Amen.
some big news. I have not seen, I'm not sure what every um, sterile processing school is doing, but this is the only school I've seen or I've heard that is going to provide an actual internship within the facility.
Yes.
Um, so
And
this is a first.
I have to mention one more thing, and forgive
Mhm,
me. My business partner, and we partnered with another company, Cord Manufacturing. My business partner, Lawrence Clark,
mhm.
he is a big facilitator of this process, and I want to give him a shout out and let him know, and let everyone out there know that it's not just William Logan. It is Lawrence Clark and our whole team coming together, but Lawrence Clark and the Cord manufacturing team has joined up with Logan Consultants to make this a reality. So shout out to my main man, my business partner, Lawrence Clark, and his efforts in seeing that this process is done.
Definitely. Thanks to Mr. Clark. We really appreciate it, and hopefully, um, we see more schools like this pop up throughout the country. And then we're
Yeah.
definitely going to recognize you as the first. Hoping that you are the you share your the path to get where you're getting, so that other people could actually have such a program to develop
Absolutely.
to
That's the
to
plan.
to develop our future sterile processing professionals. And hopefully, I'll always go back to that a little bit because I know some people like those keywords. Hopefully, that will raise the salary um, for us, knowing that we actually have the experience coming in day one, being able to run a sterilizer, being able to go to Dick and Tam and effectively reprocess instrumentation, being able to fill out documentation correctly, like the anesthesia, like the radiology technicians, like the
Absolutely.
OR techs, etc., etc. So hopefully we'll be on that same level coming in. There'll be obviously there'll be a little training and orientation, but we'll have that knowledge to start, to start being a part of those processes day one coming into a new facility. So thank
I
you for
agree with
that.
that 100%. 100%.
So thank you for being an innovator in that realm of getting the industry to another level. And I think in a few years that will be the norm, and everyone will be clamoring for those schools who actually provide that opportunity to have an internship.
Absolutely.
So so
Absolutely.
definitely, um, you know what?
Talk to me,
I
man.
I just want to play that commercial again because I like that music.
Right?
Na, na, say na, na. Tomorrow, no, they promise to nobody. So today, I go love you like say tomorrow, no day. Cause tomorrow, no, they promise to nobody. So today, I go love you like say tomorrow, no day. Like say tomorrow, no day. Like say tomorrow, no day. Like say tomorrow, no day.
And how do people get in touch with you? Somebody's watching this video right now and they're like, okay, this is the school. I'm gonna send my nephew, my cousin, my niece, or they themselves want to go get to a program like yours. How do they get to you tonight, tomorrow,
You
on the
can call
weekend?
us. You can call us at
215
215
201
6883.
6883.
And you can also reach us at our website at loganconsultinggroup.org.
The Logan
Again, that's
Consulting Group.
loganconsultinggroup.org. Yep.
And it's right on the screen scrolling. So that
Yes, it
number
is.
is 215 201. What's the last four digits?
6883.
6883. All right. So, guys, it'll be on the screen. 215 201 6883. Call and get some information on one of the most innovative
Oh,
programs.
we're having orientation this Saturday at 3 o'clock at 4300 Germantown Avenue. We're having orientation in Philadelphia at 4300 Germantown Avenue. It's in the Nicetown part of the city.
Okay. I will not repeat that because you know why? I want people to watch this video over and over again just to get that information right. So, so please watch this video again to get this information if you didn't hear it. It's in the Germantown area though. So definitely thank you, Will. I've known you for a long time. Appreciate all that you've done. Um, and I guess we'll head out. Like anything you want to say? Any thanks? Thank you for my team too on the thank you. Oh yeah, I actually made that for Will. A little bit of history. I used to be a personal driver way back when before I took the course, right? So when I finished, I actually had to leave the course 2 weeks early, and Will allow me to take the final exam 2 weeks in advance. So when I went to I went to a ranch in Montana. Um, there was a welding barn there, and I said, what can I do to tell Will thank you for everything he's done? So I welded this Logan. I welded his name together through some scrap metal, and I gave it to him when I came back from Montana as a thank you gift. And he has that over, I don't want to say over 10 years.
Yes,
Um,
yes, yes.
over 10 years.
Very favorite
Yeah.
gifts, and it sat on many desks, and it sits on my home desk. And I'm proud of your career. I'm thankful to be. Thank you for having me on the show.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Continued success with everything, my friend.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Appreciate it. And we'll keep moving on. I'll definitely have you on again. So this is not the last time you're seeing Logan Consultants on the process. So guys, thank you for watching the show. Appreciate it. And we'll see you in the next one.